Over the last several years, we've been talking about how Volvo is transitioning all of their vehicles to electric. But you have to take baby steps in order to get there. But Volvo has a pretty nice amount of plug-in hybrids as of this time, but not everybody is quite ready for that, which is where a vehicle like this comes into play. This is the 2022 Volvo XC60 B6 Inscription. It is a different engine than we featured before, but really is familiar if you've watched any of the videos on the Volvos that we've done before, because this new B6 is essentially the T6 engine that we drove before with a new mild hybrid electric vehicle system, an MHEV 48-volt system. Now the horsepower and torque number is pretty much the same from what we've seen before. This is a 2-liter twin-charged, both supercharged and turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Produces 295 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque, decent numbers for a compact luxury crossover such as this. And aside from that, it's basically going to drive the same way that you've driven any other T6 Volvo before, except that mild hybrid electric system will help a little bit when it comes to the stop-start system, changing gears, anything that a mild hybrid is good at. So you will see some slightly better fuel economy numbers, and we'll talk about that when we go on our road test. We'll talk about how it compares to the previous XC60s that we've done. But there are some other things that are new for 2022, and even though this looks pretty similar to any of the other XC60s we've done in the past, Volvo says that this is the most extensive refresh that they've done outside of a full generational update. They've changed the front and rear end of the car, giving it a slightly different look. They say that things like the rear, the tailpipes now are hidden. They've changed the front end a little bit, giving you some slightly different lower fascias and rear fascias, as well as new paint colors, including this really nice silver dawn paint. It's almost like a Donington gray from BMW. I really like it. It's a very elegant color. There's new rim options, and if you're paying attention, you'll notice that these are not the original rims. These are the winter tires still on the vehicle, so you'd have a different set of rims available on the Inscription model, which this is, and then a number of different choices if you wanted to upgrade them. But essentially, those are the major changes on the exterior of the vehicle. On the inside, we do have the new Google infotainment system, which we've talked about on the Volvo XC40 Recharge. And this vehicle is pretty much fully loaded. We've got all the options that you would really want, not necessarily need, because it does add up quite a bit to the price, but there's a lot of goodies on here, including the 15-speaker Bowers & Wilkins audio system, the 4-quarter air suspension, the climate and advanced packages, as well as the advanced air cleaner, which helps to filter out fine particulate matters, which some people could have serious issues with, could cause some serious health issues. So not only does it filter it out, much like the XC40 did, but it'll actually tell you on the infotainment system if it detects any levels of fine particulate matters. So the list of changes for 2022 is pretty long, even though it does still look like the XC60 that we've come to know and love. But I do want to take this on the road. I want to talk about how it performs on the road, some of the important details like the fuel economy, and everything else that you would be interested in if you're in the market to buy this compact luxury crossover. We are on the road with the Volvo XC60. Now, this is only the second XC60 that we've driven. We've driven pretty much all the other vehicles from Volvo in North America, but this is the second XC60. So let's talk about how the fuel numbers compare. We completed our 100-kilometer test loop in this vehicle in 7.3 liters per 100 kilometers. The US miles per gallon is below. Now, the only other XC60 that we did was the T8 Inscription. That means it is a plug-in hybrid. You're going to get much better fuel economy, and obviously we did. It completed our test loop in 5.9 liters per 100 kilometers. So the mild hybrid system here, it's not going to change the world. However, if you have 100,000 of these on the road, that small amount of fuel savings does add up. So you're going to be seeing a small improvement to, for example, the auto stop start system. That was one of the complaints I usually have about most cars, but because it's using this mild hybrid system, the startup is going to be a little smoother than you would find on normal vehicles. So that's where you'll see it the most. It will turn off the engine if maybe you're going down a hill or coasting or slowing down. There are some situations where the mild hybrid system will kick in, so it's there. But aside from that, it's basically the same system that we've tested outside of the B system, right? The engine itself is basically the same 2-liter twin-charged, supercharged, and turbocharged engine that we've driven before. So there's not much new there. aside for the rest of the car is quite enjoyable. I'm glad that we're driving this because it's pretty much fully loaded. I mean, we got all the options, or nearly all the options. I guess every option that really matters. I've got the Bowers & Wilkins audio system on here, 15 speakers, sounds very good. The 4-corner air adaptive suspension is also very nice. When I park the vehicle, it'll lower it down. You go into the trunk, it lowers it. You're driving around, it is in the most aerodynamic mode it needs to be in. So nice things there. They've removed some of the controls. There used to be a drive controller in the center here. That's gone now. You don't really get that anymore with this generation, this updated version of the XC60. So it's a bit of a bummer, but I think most people, you're just going to drive the car, right? You don't need this to be in sport mode. You don't need to be playing around with any of the settings. You just drive it. And that's the best way to do it. I don't need to play with any of the settings here because the infotainment system, I'm still not 100% sold on. Yeah, this does say it's supposed to have XM radio, but it doesn't. It says it is running the 1.7 software. And if you watch the video that we did on the XC40 Recharge recently, we talked about some of the software updates that have come for that vehicle. A lot of them should be the same because it is running the same infotainment system. Obviously, this does not have an electric drive unit, whereas the Volvo XC40 Recharge is only electric. So going to be some changes there. But for the most part, I mean, the infotainment system is more or less the same. It was brought up in the comments on the XC40 that there are a lot of people out there who are very disappointed that this infotainment system does not have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay still. Now for me, that's why I didn't mention it before, is I don't care. I don't use those features, so I don't really think about it. But I know that there are a lot of people out there who do prefer having that, and it would be nice. You know, having built-in Google Maps is fine, but I do find that it isn't quite perfect. So that could be improved, but it's essentially what we like about the XC40. On the inside, everything's very nice on here. It's just we've got a slightly bigger vehicle, and in this particular case, it's not electrified. It's fully gas. So a bit of a bummer with the gas prices so high. That's why I would personally take one of the plug-in systems, but I still really do enjoy driving this. The performance is good. If you need to get up to speed, I've had no problems. Comfort, fantastic. Now, we always like Volvo seats. The massage feature is nice to have, so I do like having that. It's going right now. So, and again, we've got pretty much all the features: heated and ventilated front seats, heated steering wheel, heated rear seats. Yeah, pretty much everything that you could get on this vehicle is optioned, which is nice. So, I mean, if you're looking for the full experience, this has it. If we think back to some of the other vehicles we've tested in this segment, I mean, I can't really think of anything that it's missing, but I think that this is going to be good enough for anybody who's looking for a truly luxurious experience, because the comfort's there, the ride is there, that air suspension, fantastic. Yeah, everything works very well when it comes to the XC60. So it's no surprise that Volvo sells a lot of them, and why it's nice that they've done an update for this vehicle. Again, it's very subtle, but the design already works. I mean, it's a very handsome looking crossover, so why change that up too much? Just improve on what's already there and make it a little bit better. Kind of refine it. We talked about that. You kind of chisel away at the things that really can be done to it to make it even better. So it's a nice update from Volvo when it comes to the XC60. I am enjoying it. It is a nice ride, even a few years after we did it last. But that's about it. I mean, there's not much else to talk about when it comes to this vehicle. You know, it's pretty straightforward when it comes to a Volvo SUV. The formula works. I know some people might be a little upset that you can only now get this specific type of engine. You can still get the plug-in, but if you wanted just the regular gas without the mild hybrid, you're out of luck. And really, you won't notice a huge difference. It's certainly not a negative when it comes to it. So I think it's a benefit that everybody is getting it now, no matter which sort of engine you want to go with. They're all the B engines here in Canada. So good stuff overall. Nice update from Volvo. Looking forward to see more electrified options in the future. But if you have any questions about this episode of Test Drive, please let me know in the comments below. I do try to get back to everybody that I can. Give a thumbs up to this video if you liked it, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.